Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February 24th, 2025 Planning Board meeting. Could we first please stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we have some correspondence. Anybody have any concerns? Anything you want to talk about?
Nope.
No.
Counselor?
No.
John?
Nothing yet.
Attorneys.
Too many.
Okay, we'll move on to the meeting minutes of February 10th, 2025. Any additions, corrections?
None here.
Good. Counselor? Nope. John?
We're fine.
Do we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 10th, 2025?
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, in the regular portion of the meeting, we have IBM helipad. This is a special use permit. Location is 1101 Kitchewan Road. This is a request for renewal of a special use permit for a helipad at the IBM site, Route 134. How you doing?
Good evening.
Good evening.
But that's all right, I have it on the computer too.
My name is Don DeMuth, and I represent IBM. I'm not sure if you have any questions.
Has there been any complaints, any concerns? I mean, it's been some time.
It's been no use.
Not to my office,
Not
no.
last year, there wasn't, no. And that's kind of driven by a couple things. Events that are planned or scheduled, and we had actually work done at our hangar in Westchester, so part of the facility over there was not available for most of the year. And I think probably just economics, although that's conjecture.
Somebody was asking about a helicopter the other day in the area. Ironically enough, there you are, but I don't know if it had anything to do with you, but
Most
other than that,
A lot of them seem to be going to West Point.
probably.
Anybody on the board?
I have no questions. No questions. No problems.
John, anything?
We have nothing.
Counselor?
Nothing for me.
Anybody from the public interested in this? Well, again, I don't think we've heard one thing about it. So in front of us, we have a resolution approving the renewal for the special use permit for a hell stop at the IBM. So I have a motion to approve.
So
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have a public hearing. It's for 401 East Main Street. So I have a motion to open the public hearing.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
How you doing?
Hi, good evening. Hi, I'm Brian Hildenbrand. I'm the engineer for the project. I know we've been in front of you guys a few times now, so we're at the public hearing part. The overall scope of the project is to develop this site where a restaurant previously existed. And the proposal is to build a relatively small 24-foot by 30-foot office building with the associated parking lot. We've submitted the stormwater report. We're proposing mitigation practices to offset our impacts, and we're currently seeking approval for the septic from the Westchester County Health Department. So in this last go-round, we submitted a lighting plan. I know there were some comments, so we think we checked all the boxes. We did the photometric plan. There's not much lighting. It's really just building-mounted fixtures. So we don't think we don't see any impacts to any neighbors or any traffic impacts. And like I said, I think we hit the stormwater pretty hard. I know drainage and runoff has been a concern for the surrounding neighbors, but we feel we're greatly reducing not only what we're adding, but just to the site in general. We're reducing the runoff compared to what even exists today.
And can you just talk about what the use of the building actually is for?
The business it's a relocation They help people downsize. So there are not moving vans and portable kind of on-site pods. You know, you've seen like that brand. So there will be a display in the back, the rear of the building for the on-site storage units. The office itself is just some admin. There is a bay door for truck access for storage inside the building, but it's a single story. You know, the few employees, most of the employees are on the road. There's not much happening on site really. It's just their kind of central hub to park at the end of the night.
And there's behind the building, there's a area for display units.
Yes, yeah, there'll be
That's gonna be hidden by the building.
right.
And there's some landscaping that you guys are putting in there.
Yes, yeah.
I think there's 5 trees that are gonna be removed in total.
5 tree. Yes, there's 5 trees, and then our proposal is to add screening where we can along the property lines, and then enhance the front between the street and the building with a rain garden that'll be planted out to add some, you know, color, and the rest will be lawn.
Yeah, I know we've been working through this, through the work sessions. We did a site visit on. I know you made some adjustments to the entrance, so the site distance is better. We're gonna clean up the whole front, add the landscaping down the side, on a previously disturbed site.
Correct.
Any questions or comments from the board?
None here.
Counselor? John?
No, I'll just work with Brian just on finalizing the light fixture.
Okay.
I have some questions on it and want to make sure that according to the code, you're not supposed to see the source. It's supposed to be shielded as much as possible.
Okay, I'm gonna ask-
And just take another look at that before we finish, that's all.
Okay.
We have a memo from the Westchester County Planning, is it the Planning Department? Planning Board. And they have raised a couple of questions and things that I think we need to think about. Primary overall comment is that this is in close proximity to Lake Osceola, that there's a stream on one side that runs down to it, and their goal seems to be to reduce any adverse impacts to, you know, that may result to the lake. And they recommended in their paperwork switching the building with the septic system, which I don't know if is a good idea to move that closer to the stream. But they also recommended pervious pavers for the parking area to provide additional treatment. That way, they recommended a pedestrian access. I think those are the major site-related items. They also question whether or not there's adequate provisions made for recycling on site, as Westchester County seems to require. So perhaps you can address those concerns. That was a memo that was dated February 10th.
Oh, yeah, I have not seen that, but
Okay.
that's fine. I can go through the comments. We cannot switch the septic because of the buffer. We
Yeah,
can't put
I get that
similar
one.
with the permeable pavement. Again, proximity to the septic, it's considered an infiltration practice, so that there's setbacks between stormwater. So again, we looked at it. We don't have that setback between an infiltration practice and our septic. The recycling, I mean, we can, whatever standard, there's no production on site or anything, so whatever bins that will go along, we can show them if needed. And then the runoff to the lake, we think we've outlined in the SWIP.
But when you get a chance to review the Westchester Board memo, I suggest for our record that you respond to the points that are made so that the record's complete and we
Sure.
make sure we have the proper justification for our decision.
And you're in front of the Westchester County Health Department at this point for the
Yes.
septic.
Right.
So it's kind of
Yeah, once,
dueling departments.
yes, definitely, right, exactly. And the health department, like I said, has approved the septic here before when the building was bigger. So you would think that would be a simple rubber stamp to get a smaller system approved, but we're still doing it.
Did you say simple?
Wishful thinking.
I just want to say that I am very happy with the sound abatement that this project represents compared to what used to be on that. site.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know.
'Cause
the
the
music-
sound flowed right up to where we were.
Sometimes the bands were good.
Sometimes.
And I do know Westchester County, I think there's a meeting Wednesday night. They're really upping the game with recycling and trying to get ahead of that curve to
Okay.
obviously do better for the environment. This is a public hearing. Does anybody from the public have any concerns, want to make any comments? Don't everybody get up at once? All right, so we're gonna follow up on the Westchester County. We gotta double check the lighting.
Okay.
We have a motion to close. There's a second.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
All right, so keep working with John,
Okay.
Robin, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. That was a nice little project.
Yes. Small building.
Yep. Okay, next, we have Enviro Green Associates. This is a decision statement. Location is 1833 through 1875 East Main Street.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Joe.
Good evening.
So the last time we were here, we had a public hearing. We closed the public hearing, and there was discussion on the traffic flow and possible conflicts with the exiting of the pickup lane for the Dunkin' Donuts. So let me get this. The resolution to that is that, if you can take a look up here, right? This is the pickup lane, this is the pickup window right here. So this, as the cars exit the pickup lane, they're gonna be forced to merge into this one-way lane in between the two buildings. There's a stop sign here, so there would be no running through the intersection. There's a stop sign here before this crosswalk, so traffic going in the easterly direction would not go through, again, blow through that intersection. And these two lanes here are a one-way, and the traffic circulation follows the direction of the pickup lane for the takeout lane for the Dunkin' Donuts. There's also additional signage in that location, in this location, indicating do not enter, so that anyone backing out of these spaces along this eastern edge here do not turn and go back out that exit, as well as one-way signs in this location and one-way signs in the back part of the site here in the back of the building. So we hopefully see that we've addressed the potential conflict issue and approve this amended site plan.
Joe, is there any other provisions for loading and unloading other than the one that I believe is behind Dunkin' Donuts?
No, that's the only area we have for a loading zone.
Are they doing anything to the existing building as part of this?
No. However, the architecture will match the existing building.
I think this meets the concerns that we had discussed the last time, don't you?
Yep.
Yep, the intersection is pretty well controlled with all the signage and stop signs and merge. So we've also updated the landscape plan to reflect this latest plan. This area here, this small area here, that's going to receive some plantings there. We've also updated the lighting plan to reflect the two building layout.
And this has been
Yeah.
reviewed and reviewed.
Reviewed, hacked over,
2015
chewed and chopped many times.
started. Time
Actually,
flies.
2014.
14?
Yeah.
Oh my God, time goes by way too quick. Any,
They were waiting for the wetlands to dry up.
probably what it was.
Got a better
You almost had
chance.
a shot at it.
Yeah, I know.
Anything from the board?
Not here.
Nothing here.
Counselor?
No, nothing here.
John?
Nothing here.
Ian, you got anything to say? No? All right, in front of us, we have a resolution approving amended site plan, stormwater pollution prevention plan, and wetland permit for EnviroGreen Associates Incorporated. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay,
Good luck out there.
good luck, Joe.
Thank
That's all you got tonight? Oh, no, you're on next.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask you to bump us back because we're waiting for. He's here. Yeah, he's here. Oh, okay. Okay.
Do you want us to go to Honda, or?
No, let's,
All right, so
Go-
this,
go to
ne-
Honda.
we'll go to Honda real quick. So
okay.
we'll bump to number 8, Curry Honda. This is a discussion of site plan, locations 3845 Compound Road.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Aaron, did you go by train?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here to, basically, the resolution that you did a couple of months ago, we've now responded to all of them. I had a nice conversation with John Tediger this afternoon, and both Marty and I went out to see the lighting situation. Basically, the poles that are there are approximately 2 feet above what the code requires, so what we can do is cut them and move the lights down, so we'll maintain the 14 feet. The other thing that John was concerned about, and both Marty and I saw it this evening, was some of the lights, unfortunately, instead of facing down, they twisted up, so that obviously, when the poles are cut and the lighting fixtures are moved down, they will both be facing downward as John and I talked about. So that, I think that basically that answers the question about the lighting. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff, maybe just go through the list that we have.
Okay. One of the items was removing the parking in the state right-of-way. So that's at the front of the lot, to the left of the service entrance. So there were 4 parking spaces over there that we removed, and we have a striped painted area there for no parking. As well as we had already previously removed the parallel parking along the curb in front of the building. Yeah, that was removed when we originally submitted it. We submitted a erosion control plan showing silt fence around the areas of work. We submitted the lighting plan. We have the note that the lighting is about repaving the parking lot. Are there any other questions?
So, we have, go ahead.
On your servicing, as I understand it, some of your servicing people pull in and then you just pull the vehicles in.
You're driving into the building for service.
Right. What is the backup on that?
There is no backup. The cars go into the service drive, and they either take them directly into the shop to work on it, or there's a side exit that they take them out to the side lot to wait until it's going to be ready to be
Okay, so
serviced.
you don't end up with a backup out into the,
No,
out into the
nobody
neighborhood.
backs out into the street.
John, in reference to the lighting, because we've had such issues on some of the other improvements that have taken place along the strip, can we get, or would it be best to get like an as-built at the end? Or some kind of certification that
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, you can require that, yeah.
We've had a lot
Yeah,
of
that's no problem.
issues with lighting along the strip.
So what we can do is, once all the changes are made with the lighting, we'll actually do a lighting, revise the lighting plan to show that it meets all the conditions that you
Yeah,
set.
I definitely want to make sure as we start to go along these strips with that, that we make sure we're in compliance with the code. Anything else from the board?
Not here.
Nothing here.
Counselor?
No, we'll make sure that the lighting plan is properly noted with some of the things you've talked about, and that these guys investigated this afternoon, and then we'll have a set ready for your signature.
Okay, and we can include that as a comment or a,
Yeah, I'll-
Include that, we'll do an as-built, that's a good idea.
Okay.
okay. I lost my sheet. There it is.
This is all post-approval, right?
Yeah, this.
Right,
Yeah,
it was
so
just
what-
meeting the
Basically,
conditions of the
yeah.
approval.
The major thing here was condition in the approving resolution to see the lighting plan.
Yeah.
So you have to see the lighting plan because you're the approval of it, so.
Okay.
So they explained to you what they're doing. Some of it was sort of up in the air up until, recently, so needed to come back to you to make sure that you know what the, decision to move forward is.
Something for us, the permit to sign, and we're good.
As long as you're okay with what we've talked about on the lighting plan, I'll move forward with it with them and get this set for you to sign, which will be reflective of everything that you're
sure,
expecting.
So there's no action we have to take right
No.
now? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That was the last item on the agenda.
Oh, Aaron,
I would like to thank Mark
Maybe
Blanchard for
10
letting us go out early.
Aaron, the train leaves in 10 minutes.
10 minutes? All right, I'll meet you on the platform.
I don't, you gotta watch the attorneys,
Why?
except for David Chen. Okay, so let's go to the first one. We have number 6, Underhill Farms. This is an adjourned public hearing. Location is 370 Underhill Avenue. Counselor?
Good evening. Good evening to everyone, members of the board, to the town staff. Here to provide an update. We had an open item to elected officials. Sorry about that. Didn't see you back there. Here tonight to provide an update on an open question relating to the subdivision as it would demonstrate how the site will be governed by the previous site plan approval. I've been working with the town attorney's office, and we've also shared a document with Mr. Tegeter. We have a draft property owners association, which was requested by the board. We have a draft POA. The lion's share of that document still needs work, but what's important for this board is that I believe, and I'll allow Mr. Chen to speak and agree with me or disagree, but I believe we have a consensus on the language that would be controlling in the POA that would do what the board wants it to do, meaning that how the common areas are treated, and also having the town have an enforcement capability that if, for example, the path around the pond or some of the open space that has been reserved by the easement, the POA will explicitly call out the town's enforcement capability. In my opinion, doesn't mean it's invalidated, but in my opinion, it's a little redundant. I'm of the opinion the town always has that authority, but we agree to put the language into the POA. We've shared some language. I think it needs tweaking. We're not there yet, but we have agreed in concept to put the language in the POA, which then would supplement your language that's in your existing site plan approval resolution, then your hopefully potential subdivision approval resolution. Then we would have a note on the plat, the final plat that gets filed, and then it would be reflected also in the final POA. What I think is most constructive now is that the language I believe we agreed to, even as of this afternoon, I was talking with Adam Rodriguez, the town attorney, Mr. Chen's colleague. We're still tweaking that language. but I think what the attorneys have agreed to in concept is that the language that would be referenced specifically in the POA would first appear in your approval resolution as a condition that the town attorney's office confirms that that language that you approve is in fact in the POA document. Yeah. So, Mr. Chen, agree, disagree?
I agree. That's, I also spoke to Mr. Rodriguez at length, and I think that's all a very fair summary and characterization of the discussions that have been had. You know, the language does need some tweaking, but I think we agree on the basic points, and as long as the language can sort of condition it all on the town attorney's final approval, we don't think that needs to be a hang-up.
What I would look for, just to complete the file, is some sort of a memo from our attorney stating that the documents, the form and substance of the documents that the applicant is presenting satisfy the goals and objectives that we want to see in terms of this subdivision implementing the site plan that we originally approved. And if that comes through, and it's fine with me.
Is there a provision to then review that once the POA is filed?
Well, we have the ultimate control over that resolution, but I'm just suggesting that there be attorney review of that to make sure it meets what we want.
But wouldn't there have to be a review of the POA then? If
Well, that's
we're
what I'm talking about.
That's
anticipating-
exactly what we're
if
doing.
That's what we're talking
anticipating
about.
a
That,
review.
if I can answer, because maybe it's best if I answer, we are agreeing that in your approval resolution, that protection is in there. Because the final approval is it would follow that approval resolution, but that's going to be in the resolution as a condition we have to continue to follow. I think that,
You'll get a look at the final language of the POA
right.
as a condition of the resolution.
That's
Two
that's
attorneys. Guys good?
Yeah, well, what I wrote in my notes is that our council has to review this. I want to make sure that there's some memo which says, summarizes the impacts of those agreements to make sure that what we're looking to accomplish is in fact accomplished. That's all.
I did get an email. There's some other conditions for the subdivision. Are you aware of the list from Adam Rodriguez? Should I go over these, David, or
Is that something we got?
no?
No, that was something I forwarded to Rich, came into my office to me, so.
Is that just internal stuff? or-
Yeah, it's mostly internal. You could talk about any part of it, but I'll share those things with those guys. It's really things as a reminder for us back and forth as we speak about projects.
Right.
To make sure that we don't miss anything as conditions in the resolution, so.
Okay. All right, so anything else from the board?
Not here.
Nothing.
Aaron, you had a question about the easements? Recorded
Not the recorded, no, my question was specifically related to the newer documents that were submitted.
Oh, okay. I thought you also had okay. Got it.
We want us to make sure that you guys,
You earn a living.
Gotcha. No, I was just gonna I was just gonna share with respect to the easements that have been approved by the town board and town attorney. Those were actually recorded. My understanding is they were recorded with the county clerk's office today.
Yes.
So that's a done deal.
so they're done.
Yep.
Public hearing.
Yep.
Adjourned.
Anything else for you,
And not at the moment.
David? Anybody from the public?
In many approvals, with multiple conditions, there are different timeframes for the conditions prior to endorsement, prior to getting a CO, prior to this, prior to that. So will this condition be prior to what? Will it be prior to endorsement? Will that be specified?
Which condition?
The condition about the POA and the planning board approving the language, that should be a condition prior to endorsement, as opposed to, let's just say, prior to getting a building permit, or prior to getting a CO.
I'm actually looking to have the form and substance, as insofar as it applies to what we're interested in, set forth now, at the earliest stage.
Well, I would have no problem with that, but the gist of the conversation, as I heard it, seemed likely that the board would grant approval with the condition that after you vote for the approval, one of the conditions before something else kicks in, you'd have to review and approve it. So what I'm saying,
It seems a little
I think
redundant.
I think we're ahead of the game there now. I don't know, maybe the attorney might want to comment on the timing of that, the applicant
what
might.
you're saying, Aaron, I'm sorry if I'm not hearing it correctly, is that you would like to see the form and substance before you even vote for the resolution.
Well, that was, as far as I can tell, some of that's already been submitted to us, and council are working on it right now.
Yeah,
So I expect that-
in the draft, but the final POA, the final language, that's what I thought the condition was going to be about.
I think it's before signing is what is my understanding.
Before endorsement signing. Yeah, that, I just want to make clear because having looked at multiple resolutions, approval resolutions, there are different trigger points, different thresholds for when certain conditions have to be met. Some of it could be as late as before you meet this condition prior to getting a CO, for example, which is way, way at the end of the process. But some conditions are before you sign the plat, which the technical word I learned is endorsement. That's in the very beginning of the process. Nothing can go forward before the plat is endorsed, signed. So that's all I'm asking, is for clarification as to what the
Let's hear it.
threshold would be. I'm just saying for clarification. I'm not objecting to what you're doing.
Just as a point of clarification, our goal is to work with the staff and the attorneys. The language that goes into your approval resolution will be the final language that goes into that POA. So when you approve that resolution, the tricky thing with a plat is, once you approve it, we start a 62-day clock to get that all signed. We have to run around and get everything all signed, the county health department, the tax assessor, all that. So having the final POA approved before the plat is filed is probably unrealistic, but there's multiple layers of protection here that you will, like, there'll even be a note on the plat about this issue. But your language that's going into the POA is going to be finalized before you approve your subdivision resolution.
I'm going to add to the clarity, which is,
Thank you.
I think you're talking about the language that Aaron is specifically interested in terms of the form and the substance,
Yes.
not the final POA.
Not interested.
Right.
But we're going to, I believe that as a condition, my department will offer in the draft that the final POA language is offered to the planning board before they endorse the plat.
Yes, I think we're saying the same thing.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone else? That's it.
Motion to close?
We have a motion,
Motion to close the public hearing.
motion closed. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We're going to move on to Underhill Farms Part 2. This is a discussion of the amended site plan, locations 370 Underhill Avenue. Proposed amendments to previously approved mixed development by resolution 23-13 dated July 17th, 2023.
Okay. Carrying on from the previous discussion and presentation that we made regarding amendments to the site plan. The first amendment is that we have gone back to to 4 units on the first units on the left of the townhouse units. We had it was originally approved with 4. We switched it to 2. We're back to 4. So as was originally approved.
In that corner.
In that corner on the first building on the left.
Okay.
When you go in, right? The second amendment we are making is we're removing the wooden footbridge and installing 2 culverts there. And we're going to have a continuous surface going across what was previously the bridge to match the remainder of the footpath going around the pond. The third amendment was we've added some parking and we've reallocated the parking. So, which ties into a proposed use that's going into a portion of the Underhill House, and that's you have the floor plans, I believe, that as part of your package for Bobo's Cafe. So we've added additional parking facing Underhill Avenue, 7 more spaces there. And we've also reallocated some of the spaces. So what we've done is this is now on the exterior of the buildings. We've added additional parking towards the apartment building. We've allocated more parking towards the mixed use, which is the bottom floor of the apartment building facing Route 118. And again, there was some moving parking spaces from the interior to the exterior because of structural concerns or structural obstacles. But in all, we either meet or we exceed the original approved parking count that that was offered on the approved site plan. And lastly, as I mentioned, is the addition of the proposed addition of approximately 800 square feet over what was originally approved. That will now be Bobo's Cafe. With that change, we updated the landscape plan that which has also been submitted. That provides some screening, additional screening of those 7 parking spaces along 118. Underhill. And again, you have the floor plan now for the proposed use.
How much square footage you're adding? Not much, right?
It's over what was originally shown. We're adding approximately 800 additional square feet.
Okay.
So as you can see by the plan for Bobo's, there's accommodations in the back of that for the HVAC units, for ventilation system needed for the cafe, as well as the trash enclosure. And that's all fenced in with privacy fencing.
The plans for the mansion are current?
Yes. As of last Thursday or Friday. That's the latest.
I just, one of the things that we've been talking about, I'll just bring it up, is the integrity of the old structure. I'm not sure that remains here, but we can talk about it offline.
Okay.
You're eliminating the seating in front of the restaurant portion of completely outside?
No, that's still part of it. It's just a covered porch now.
Right, I see on the revised plan, the seating that was once in front of what will be the restaurant is gone.
You mean this right here?
No, I see it on that side. It's missing from the other side. There were two tables and chairs.
Right there. Oh,
So is the outdoor seating just gonna be for the Bobos?
It'll be shared space.
It will.
Shared space.
Here it's gone.
Yeah.
Through here, and then there's that.
Right, but on the revised, it's, they're no longer there.
Right.
So they're gonna share that end.
Can we put them back? Nothing happened on that side. That's temporary stuff anyway.
Yeah.
You're gonna be supplying, elevations?
Yeah, where does that stand? Forthcoming.
I have no concerns.
Not here.
Have none?
John?
On anything?
Anything, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I just want to bring up the shared parking spaces that are being provided for the future senior building, which will be constructed on the neighbor's property, but accessed from this property. I think the manner that they are provided should be talked about a little bit more in depth on these plans, about timing. Is it available for the weekends? Is it available in the evenings, you know? Whatever that parking is available for the users of the senior center and the senior or the recreation office, how that will work. Secondly, the senior center that's shown is no longer what's been on the table. It's actually a longer, single floor building. And so I think that should be represented because has to be a way to get into the building that's reasonable. And I think that needs to be reflected here.
If you could send me that update, we'll get it on there.
Yeah, whatever I have, I will.
Wouldn't that kind of concern be reflected in easement agreements that
Well,
we've been looking at or maybe looking at?
it could be, yeah. I think that's this part of the discussion that needs to be
Yeah,
finalized.
I'll go back and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I thought we kind of vetted all that out the first time around, and
I know that we talked about it, but when we were looking at the last set of plans, we didn't really find anything that was detailed enough to be really telling us enough about it. So
okay.
just want to make sure that gets on there, and if there's any easement that's needed, that the board can get some language in front of them regarding that.
Okay, that's easy enough.
And outside the size of the restaurant, nothing's changed there? I gotta ask, because I'm looking at the names of the room on the approved plan. Andre is one room and Benedict is the other.
Dave,
I'm guessing,
Not-
because of the historic nature of the house.
not too highly liked people in American Revolution history.
They got a Bobo.
Actually,
yacht room.
Andre was pretty, even the Americans were pretty impressed by the way he faced his
Demise.
pending doom.
Yeah. All right, what are our next steps here, John?
On the site plan, we'll just work out some of these things, and then it's going to come to a resolution for you.
In the subdivision?
Subdivision, much the same thing.
Okay.
We'll get you the things that we talked about on the POA.
Thank you, Jesus.
All right.
Go from here. What was the Isaac?
What's that?
The Isaac is the other room in there.
I don't know.
Isaac Underhill.
Kinda
Isaac
guess.
Underhill, yeah.
Yes,
Huh?
okay.
Isaac Underhill.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Isaac Underhill.
I got my Bobo's app ready.
There you go.
All right.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Good
have a
night,
motion
everybody.
to close the meeting.
Motion.
There's a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.